And is Malik going to be the guy as you go forward here, and are you preparing him to be the starter?
Yeah, if Jordan's not cleared, then we'll start Malik, and Sean will be the backup.
What's the possibility, say if Jordan isn't clear, what's the possibility of Jordan actually being ready for?
I couldn't give you a percentage, but if he gets cleared, we'll give him every opportunity, like we always will. And you know, I know he's doing everything in his power. I know he's spending a lot of time trying to get back as soon as possible, but certainly we're not going to put him in a position where if he can't protect himself that he'd go out there.
When were you able to get clarity on the severity of Jordan's injury, and what was that plane? Was it before you left Brazil, when you came back, and what was that plane like?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. There's no sense in trying to worry about something that's out of your control, and certainly I felt a little confident that he was, since he was moving, and he said obviously he was in pain, but until I wasn't going to even go there in my mind until I knew one way or the other, and thankfully we got some relatively good news.
Stating the obvious, but just the relief when you did get that good news that it wasn't going to be a season-ending thing.
A lot.
So why Malik over Sean?
Why Malik over Sean? Because that's Malik's on the roster, and that he's our number 2 quarterback, and that's the way we're going to roll.
What did he do in the first week and a half picking up the offense that made you comfortable making him the backup on Friday? Because I know you said there was some conversation about what you were going to do there.
Yeah, I think he's put a lot of time and effort into this thing, and he's grinded. He's learned the terminology and is able to spit out the play calls, and we got confidence in him. And I think, if he's given a full week of preparation, a full week of practice, I got confidence that he'll go out there and perform at a high level.
So I take it you guys aren't putting Jordan on IR?
No.
Was there any thought to bringing in another quarterback?
No. Despite reports, it's crazy to me, like how people come up with some of these things, and I think you're always you explore every possibility, but at no point in time did we ever have any discussions with anybody.
What would be the process like for knowing when it's time for Jordan to come back? So he has to be 100%. Is there a threshold where he just obviously has to protect himself, but if he's not full capacity, can he still play, or how do you gauge that?
First of all, he's got to get cleared, and until he gets cleared, those conversations don't exist. So we will never put him in a position that to mortgage the short term for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he can't protect himself, we would never do that to him or our football team.
Why not bring in a guy like Tannehill, who's played a lot of games and won his share? Is Love already close enough, you think, where it won't be that long if it's multiple games?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We're going to take it day by day, and I know, like I said, he's doing everything to come back.
A couple of players post-game said you guys changed some stuff up schematically to get Josh Jacobs going. What exactly did you see that the Eagles were doing to maybe open some stuff up in the run game?
I didn't know we changed. I mean, we went with our game plan. I think we blocked some things a lot better. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we had linebacker run-throughs that we didn't block the backer. It's hard to get going. And early on in the game, they were doing some line movement, and credit to them. And I didn't think we adjusted quick enough. But I think once we did get our runners going, we blocked their front much better. And give credit to Philly. That's a really good front. All those guys. But yeah, I wouldn't say we may have tried some different running schemes, but that's almost every game. I think we got the gap scheme going a little bit, and that helped maybe slow down some of their movement. But I mean, we run our run schemes like, I wouldn't say it was a massive change-up.
Along those lines, how much is that second half running that will give you confidence that you can lean on Josh and Emmanuel and so on?
Well, every game's a new challenge, and I think if you look at Indy, again, another very disruptive front. I'm sure they're going to have a big emphasis on stopping the run after Houston ran the ball 40 times on them. So they'll be working hard on that. There's no doubt about it, which presents another challenge.
The last kickoff, is that Keyshawn's call, whether he brings it out or
I'm going to
not?
put that one on me, and that will not happen again.
Why is that on you?
Because obviously it didn't get it clearly communicated what we wanted to get done in that situation. But at no point do we ever want to, if a kick's 7 yards deep or whatever it is, and we have to jump to catch it, and it's the timing element. It's you get the ball at the 30-yard line. We were just trying to get in Hail Mary range, and those are valuable seconds. So obviously I wasn't clear in what we wanted, so that will not happen again.
Going back to Malik, he's obviously, mobility is a huge part of his game, obviously. Is it any easier or harder to implement those aspects of a game plan compared to the passing tree and for a new guy that's coming in and learning the offense on the fly?
I'm not following you, Ryan.
I imagine that if building an offensive game plan around him will incorporate that mobility. Is that part of the game any easier or more difficult in the passing game to incorporate for a new quarterback?
Well, I just think every game's a little bit different, and certainly you got to play to your players' strengths. So it's our job to try to come up with whatever we come up with in order to put him in a position to be successful. And whether that's, moving launch points or, straight drop back, whatever it may be, we always carry play actions every week. So we'll come up with whatever we feel like is going to give us the best possible opportunity to move the football.
Matt, after the game, you said you guys as a staff did some things uncharacteristically. What did you mean by that, or what do you wish you would have done differently?
Well, I think, it was evident on the first drive when we get called with 12 on the field. When we try to hurry up and catch them with 12 on the field, we can't sub in that situation. And we try to do a good job of holding our subs, but certainly, we got to see the huddle. I think there was some communication on the headsets, and I'm not saying, everything's important that we do, in my opinion. You never know. The game is just, the margin of error in our league is so small. So every mistake, whether it's execution or communication, whatever it may be, can cost you. And there was a couple things that happened, more so on the headset, and specifically at the end of the game. The kickoff is a great example where I was upset with the communication. So I put that always on myself, and how can I be better and make sure that we clearly articulate what we're trying to get done, and so we don't put ourselves in those situations.
Kenny said after the game that the rush plan was basically just power rush to keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. Is there a similar approach that you need to have with this guy this weekend? Do you see a similar challenge with Anthony Richardson?
Well, I think I thought for the most part, and I thought we kept him in the pocket for the most part until there was a couple plays on the last drive where he was able to use his legs and get out and move the sticks. But yeah, that was part of the plan, was try to keep him in the pocket. And like I said, I thought for 3.5 quarters we did a pretty good job of that. And certainly when you do that, at times you're going to sacrifice, especially when you have a 4-man rush, you're going to sacrifice the ability to put pressure on them. I thought other times when we did bring pressure, we were able to hit the quarterback. A couple of those, I thought we should have been off the field, and, give credit to them. They made some plays.
The QB stuff aside, how are you and the team doing just in recuperating from this trip? How did you spend the weekend yourself and also the players?
Yeah, so we gave the players off the weekend. As a staff, we came in on Sunday, and then there was an optional lift for those guys, and I think half the team came in on Sunday. But I would tell you that just it's a little different than, I would say, going over to Europe when you're on a totally different body clock. The fact that you can stay on your same body clock, and we had a great airplane where we had like 60 lay-down seats or whatever, and so I think a lot of our guys were able to rest not only on the way there but on the way back.
We asked you a few times about Luke Musgrave during training camp, and then on Friday, I think it was 64-17 or something like that, snaps wise between him and Tucker. What was the thinking there?
I think we're going to continue to get work both of those guys in, and certainly there's going to be some games that maybe Tuck plays a little bit more than Luke, and vice versa. That's just how it played out.
Is there any dissatisfaction with Luke's preparation? I mean, 17 snaps isn't very many.
No, I know, but we weren't in 12 personnel very much either.
What's a reasonable percentage of the playbook for Malik Willis to know going into week 2 of the season?
Yeah, I would never. I can't answer that. Like, to put a percentage on it, I think it's reasonable to know that he'll know 100% of the game plan.
How much do you have to tweak, adjust the offense for Malik, or just gonna go with what you guys got?
Would you want us to roll out the game plan for everybody? Yeah, I know. No, I think that, we're going to try to play to his strengths and put him in the best position possible and put our team in the best position possible.
You said a couple weeks ago, though, I think, when we were talking about him getting acclimated, that it is easier to pare it down for a game plan than just knowing the entire scope of the offense, right? Does that make it more manageable, I would imagine, this week?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think he had a good grasp of it last week. Otherwise, we wouldn't have put him in that position. Otherwise, Sean obviously knows all the details, and we got a lot of confidence in him as well to go out there and be able to, orchestrate the offense and lead us. So, but certainly when you get into a game plan, it does pare down quite a bit.
What did you think of your Ryan/Morgan rotation?
I thought it was pretty effective. I mean, there's certain things that we can 100% do better, both guys, but overall, I was happy with it.
I'm asking about this Sunday, but would you at some point like to settle on one guy and ride with them, or was this kind of obviously we're pleasure with John and Sean?
I'd say it's pretty fluid. I mean, you guys saw us last year. I mean, we played both those guys the whole year, so.
Matt, when you looked at the defensive film, obviously the 3 takeaways are a huge positive. What kind of bothered you the most when you went through that?
Well, there was some bad tracking angles that we allowed them to pick up some, key first downs, I would say, where we didn't get off the grass. I thought all in all, our defense for the most part, I thought our run defense was pretty solid. We just got gashed on a couple runs where we weren't in the right gaps. We had a misalignment that really hurt us on Saquon. I think it was on his first touchdown. And there was just some detail there that we absolutely have to clean up and get that fixed moving forward, because we have another great back coming in here and another really good offense and great offensive line.
Wondering, in the wake of the Tyreek Hill deal from yesterday, kind of an odd situation, does y'all have anybody in the staff who kind of talks to the players, whether it be during the offseason or whatever, on how to act in potential interactions with police like that?
Always. Yeah, absolutely. Every year. The league sends people to every team around the league to try to educate us on that.
Is that something maybe y'all will go over again this week based off that, or is it obviously during game prep and everything?
No, yeah, I think we got a pretty good locker room. Certainly, I think that anytime you see something like that, it's a good reminder of I don't know what happened, so I really don't want to speak on it, to be honest with you. I obviously saw what happened, but I have no details of why it happened.
From your experience in the past, obviously not here because your quarterback's been mostly healthy, but what's the key to getting a second guy ready, in season like this?
Yeah, it's not the first time I've been a part of a team where we've had to rely on our backup quarterback. It certainly happened. It's happened here. I mean, yeah, once.
LA or?
No, in Tennessee. Yeah, Mariota got hurt week 1. We had Blaine Gabbert he ended up playing a decent amount for us that year. And, you just gotta try to figure out what can put your team in the best possible position, what he feels most comfortable with, and get him the reps throughout the course of the week.
Matt, how's Josh Myers feeling? I know that last play he also went down and looked a bit.
Yeah, he's fine.
Edger and Cooper didn't play at all in the preseason because of his injuries. Obviously, he played and played well, it seemed, on Friday. What got him on the field, and what did you think of him
Yeah, I think that it was good to get him out there. He certainly flashed and made some plays. I would anticipate him getting more time moving forward. But it wasn't perfect. It never is, and we got to clean up some things and make sure that we're communicating well when we're out there. If there was a misalignment, I mean, we got 10 other guys on the field that can help him get in the right spot. So, but it was exciting to see him go out there and play football.
Matt, I know college at the league was a run-heavy quarterback too. Just as you've seen with the Colts and even with the Eagles, does it help the offense going into this week, knowing that you can kind of add that dual threat to this offense?
Every week's got a new challenge. So some weeks it's more advantageous to have a running quarterback, and some weeks it's not. It just depends who you're playing.
That's good.
All right, guys, have a good one.